Okay, guys, I get it. Anthropomorphic animals are part of our DNA. We've been doing this since we could bang rocks on a cave wall. So you think after 10,000 years on the field, we'd be able to do a little better than this? Hi, local main character Zepp here. Way back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan deregulated advertising, changing the way that we manipulated children forever. It's a topic a little too dense to dive into right now if we want to get into,
So, to cut a long story short, the new freedom in how products could be advertised to children created merchandise-driven media that became the backbone of toy society. As it turns out, it's easiest to care about plastic when it has a personality attributed to it, especially if that personality airs at 8 a.m. every Saturday, telling them not to do drugs sometimes. Ironically, it was like selling crack to kids, and depending on who you ask, Ronald Reagan was already doing that. Masters of the Universe, My Little Pony, Transformers, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles all arose out of this primordial soup, alongside many other franchises we couldn't imagine not existing. So it's really funny that in 2012, two separate companies, independent of each other, chose to reboot a cyborg furry line that lived and died within the same lifespan as a wild mouse. Beastformers, the animal Transformers before Transformers were all animals. While Beast Wars revitalized the franchise into a booming success, Beastformers happened. This line was co-developed by Hasbro and Takara near to the beginning of their long marriage, glued together with the sentiment of staying together for the kids' money. Together they designed a foolproof line combining a trifecta of surefire hits, elemental powers, robot armor, and fuckable animal men. The result was a line of 1.5-inch Sofubi figures, all based on different animals, each with their own weapon and heat-activated color-changing sticker, otherwise known in the biz as a rub sign. And by biz, I mean Transformers Wiki, and I'm not going to question them, they have the power to call a drone strike on my house. When rubbed, the sign would be one of 3 elemental symbols called emblems: fire, wood, or water. If you've ever chosen a starter or played any gacha game ever, you see where this is going. Fire burns wood, water puts out fire, and wood beats water, or floats on water. I subscribe to the Schlorps water ideology myself. Yeah, this is a rock, paper, scissors minigame, one of Takara's early forays into the collectible battle hobbies that would later become their bread and butter. The line first hit shelves in 1987, or possibly a bit early in 1986, on Hasbro's turf as Battle Beasts. This iteration came in semi-randomized packages with 2 beasts to a card. If you sought out accessories, you could get themed merchandise, vehicles, transforming transport battle stations, and a bandolier to hold all your beasts so you could battle for the fun of it, even after they grew into an army.
Battle beasts can grow into an army. Collect all 84. Battle beasts.
Accompanying the line, in terms of lore, was a poster you could mail away for with some names on the back of it, and a black and white comic that ran for 4 issues. Although in the fan letter response section in issue 3, they say there were issues planned out for a couple of years. Blackthorn, who published the line, already was on a death spiral, having canceled all of its colored lines to focus on licensed black and white comics and 3D gimmick comics before, I kid you not, allegedly imploding while trying to do a 3D comic adaptation of Michael Jackson vehicle film Moonwalker. So I don't think the journey for the legendary Sunburst Warrior against the treacherous Ruin was long for this world. Luckily, these comics were scanned by @BattleBeastMode on Instagram and are hosted on Beastformers.blog, so if you want to follow the late adventures of Gargantuan Gorilla and Night Owl, led by Horny Toad, you can, but I can't trust your intentions are pure. Also, why is the Soul Spirit, like the god of their realm, a woman? Not like that. I mean that she's a human woman. I'm glad that there's at least one female character, but why is she human? Ruin, the devil surrogate, is a blob thing. Let her be a blob too. Let women be disgusting freaks of nature. It's a privilege we deny them too often. We can't just slap big tits on all of them. Some of them have to be snuffleupagus. We gotta close the gender freak gap. The 4th issue ends with Pirate Lion, the face of the brand, revealing he's the Christ-like sunburst hero who can save the day and defeat Ruin. It's a cliffhanger, but you can work out where it goes from here. Maybe they were trying to quickly wrap up the storyline, but couldn't beat the shutter of the doors. That whole sunburst thing from the comics wasn't their invention. Later on in the line, a burst sun emblem was introduced that could beat all the other emblems. It was a pretty rare sticker, mostly relegated to Pirate Lion, who is called White Leo in Japan because, he's a white lion. In this release, they called him Pirate Lion because he was a lion with an eye patch. If it's that easy to become a pirate, why did I get this degree then? This is America! I won't recover from this! Anyways, after a limited launch of a fourth wave of Battle Beasts, the Shadow Warriors and the Battle Chargers, more on those later, the line didn't recover in America either. That same year, in the UK, there was a choose-your-own-adventure style activity/prose/comic book released by World International Publishing Limited called Battle Beasts Annual 1988. But besides that and a few other special issues, that's pretty much it for Battle Beasts. But across the shining seas, Takara had their own completely separate strategy for releasing the beasts. While the Transformers G1 animated series only had 4 seasons of wholly original episodes in the Hasbro market, Japan just kept on going. This year's theme was The Headmasters, Transformers' virgin voyage into their tradition of giving head violently.
I think I have a hole in my head that needs repairing too! You what?
In episode 5 of the series, the eponymous super robot lifeforms visited the homeworld of a planet named Beast, home to the Beastformers, currently under a proxy war caused by the Decepticons and spearheaded by Alligatron, whose name spells his deal out. The good Beastformers were led by the valiant White Leo, and that's about as far into the lore as I'm willing to get. Unlike the Hasbro release, we've got a Transformers spin-off on our hands, and those are trenches I am not digging into. The lore offhand mentions gods that have existed in a past universe and just managed to survive into this one and create a species made in their image. That's the light stuff, furry Gnosticism. Beastformers lore, like Transformers lore, is spread across books, magazines, toys, pamphlets, and TV, still occasionally showing up in auxiliary media. Simply put, they flesh this stuff out. It's kinda shocking Hasbro also wouldn't try to conjure the Transformers brand in their Beast release, but that's with the lens of their current modus operandi of relying on their core brands. Takara, however, dove all in. Each Beastformer was packaged individually in Transformer-style packaging with an Autobot or Decepticon logo. They each came with a weapon and a bio card. Now, each weapon is supposed to go with a specific beast, usually having a matching theme, like Bebop, a beaver with a saw, or Bomb Sheep's sheep shears, or Grenkat's, a cat with a gun. Sometimes a beast would come with the wrong weapon, and we're still unsure if that was an intentional choice or not, given the oncoming rebrand of Beastformers into Beastformers, the role-playing Animal Corps, or Beastformers, the role-playing Animal Team if you believe the box, and to be fair, that's an okay translation. The Transformers branding? Gone. The battle game? Expanded. The lore? Even more of it. We were in the midst of the Japanese RPG boom. Future RPG and Monster Collection TCG publisher, Group SME, was in the middle of releasing a series of replays, what we may call campaign diaries in English, called The Record of Lodos War, retelling a story of a D&D game blocked out into conversations. Lodos's popularity was bolstered by the release of Dragon Quest the same year, so might as well tap into the newfound interest in RPGs and make the brand stand on its own two soft plastic feet. Biocards now had expanded character lore and gave description of each weapon's special ability called its Miracle Victory Power, or yes, MVP. These could have been as simple as shooting a laser beam, sure, but they could also be melting your opponent until they were only bones, making your opponent grow scales to hinder their mobility, or to turn them into butter. White Cow could churn you into butter with his sword, bread and butter. He clears Goku! I also found sources that say his ability is spelled blade and butter, and that's just a really good pun, so he also clears Word Girl, who I have established before is on Goku levels of strength. In the Transformers Legend comics, White Loon, who somehow produces less sexual energy than the original White Leo, can turn into an MVP weapon. Sure, there might be some undertones here that she literally gets objectified and then used by two men who have become one being through their strong bond with each other, But I'm sorry to put her down more by saying if she can't turn someone into butter, she can't be called the ultimate weapon. These MVP weapon powers translate into dealing extra damage when playing the Beastformers role-playing game, which has a lot less role-playing than one would imagine. Found in pamphlets and RP Animal Team era releases and in Hero Special Magazine issues 4 and 12, the Beastformers role-playing game was more of a two-player dice battling game. Each player chooses 5 Beastformers, or 3 in a small game, arms them each with a weapon, and then lines them up in the order that they want them to battle. Oh, it's Beyblade. The system they would eventually use for Beyblade competitive play is debuting in Transformers Furry Game. Players would then go down the line battling the beasts one-on-one in order until one player defeated and captured 3 beasts in their fortress playset sold separately. Each individual fight goes as follows. Each player reveals their beast's emblem, with the winning emblem determining initiative, or defaulting to a game of rock, paper, scissors in case of a tie. The player who won initiative would begin as the attacker, a role only important for MVP abilities. Both players would roll 2d6, with the higher number winning. The loser's beast would take 1 damage, marked by rotating one of their arms 90 degrees upwards until landing a final blow while both arms were up. Or you could just track 5 HP with another dice or paper and pencil, but who am I to ruin your fun? Both players would do this until one beast was defeated and then captured into the winning player's fortress, again playset sold separately. Rinse and repeat until one player captures 3 beasts to win the game. The winner gets the option to recruit an opponent, meaning the tradition of playground gambling is still alive and well. This game, competitive dice rolling, got an element of choice when your beast came with a weapon that matched its ID number, turning the packaging issues into a feature. Written in the bio cards and in multiple guide articles were the miracle number and bonus damage of each weapon. If you rolled a miracle number on your battle roll, you could deal extra damage directly proportional to how probable your M number is, and also declare miracle power as the attacker, rolling your dice to heal back up to full if you matched your miracle number. This game was really simple and truly didn't rely on the beast toys being there, but it was neat at least. An early battle collectible game that signaled things to come, really. The rules also mention gold power and lame weapons, things that never existed and were never expanded upon beyond being mysterious. So mysterious, they stayed mysteries. There were also other games, possibly involving collectible cards and battle maps, but those are more lost to time for English speakers. The Beastformers line saw the release of most of the toys released by Hasbro, a special set with a Burst Sun emblem sticker to stick to any of your beasts, and most interestingly, the laser beasts, who had a see-through marble that would reveal the emblem when peered through instead of the heat-revealed sticker. This kind of slows down the rock, paper, scissors gimmick, but sure man, do whatever. Extremely limited selection of these laser beasts were also released by Hasbro as the Shadow Beasts. Takara went all out with releasing a full line of these guys with their own role-playing Neo-Animal Team branding on the box. In lore, the laser beasts were the original subterranean inhabitants of Planet Beast, whose some of their predecessors would go up to the surface and evolve into the modern Beastformers. Then, war breaks out after they finally reach the surface and decide their grandkids are lame. Laser beasts also branched out into the shield battlers, who had shield pieces that could clip onto them and their battle sled vehicles. In Hasbro Land, one of these beasts fully decked out with shield and vehicle were called Battle Chargers. Tie that in with a few Gashapon releases and knickknacks here and there, and the series was pretty much wrapped up in 1988 with the story being finished years later in other auxiliary media.
And so the beasts lay dormant for decades, only existing in the memories and shelves of its most avid fans. Fans like White Rabbit and the rest of the Beastformers archaeology team, where a lot of this information comes from. This weird little Transformers sub-franchise was just another failure of the 80s, like Silverhawks, Brave Star, and trickle-down economics. So, with that being said, tell me why it got 2 simultaneous reboots!
In 2009, Hasbro let the trademark for Battle Beast slip out of their greasy palms and into the hands of Diamond Select Toys, who announced a Battle Beast line for their Minimates figures at that year's San Diego Comic-Con. What's a Minimates? I don't know, what does a Power Ranger look like in Roblox? Probably not good. The toys would materialize in 2012, complete with an IDW comic that, and tell me if you've heard this one before, only ran for 4 issues. IDW also had the comics license for Transformers, so it was a neat coincidence. The series follows the beasts going to Earth and communicating with the only person who can understand them, linguist Bliss Reynolds, working for the Department of Defense. There's some MacGuffin plot about some dread weapons, so like, it's normal stuff. On the toy side, we get similar results. These figures are neat. Most of them are neat. Some of them are this. The only thing is that these are just anthropomorphic animal warriors and the occasional human. The obvious elemental theming is gone, and the cyber suits along with it. There are some good designs here, they're just not as charming as little guys in little suits with little elemental emblems, a combination that made Battle Beast stick in people's heads more than its contemporaries that also failed to take off. However, in Japan, they leaned into everything Beastformers was and more. Beast Saga was a return to Planet Beast that brought the figures into the modern age. Being sold as a dice-battling hobby, Takara told me up to the gamification on these toys, being released hot on the tail of Metal Fight Beyblade's insane success. If people call Beyblade shooting dice for anime kids, then this is the next logical step to take down that road. If that road was also labeled shooting dice for furry anime kids. They had everything. A manga in Psycho Jump, a Synergy SP television anime announced on my 11th birthday, and a 3DS game that is going to show up at EVO any year now. And of course, the toys had support too. Starters, character boosters, random boosters, dice boosters, playsets, big vinyl figures, and even an accompanying card scanning game device. They had everything they wanted and more to support the toys as gaming implements and action figures. So, question of the day. Did they suck? Let's start with the main attraction, the Beasts. These are incredibly detailed, well-painted, and come with an entire two additional points of articulation. They have movable legs now. The future is awesome! Along with bringing back the classic Beastformer aesthetic into the 21st century, they also brought back the dice game as the main gimmick from the start. The chest emblems are now dice, pushed out with this plunger-style trigger with a matching emblem jutting out from the back. I think that the obvious trigger might bother some people, those being people who have paid taxes since pre-Y2K, but I personally accept our new dice beat-em on overlords. If you press the trigger, you shoot a dice called a battle lot. You can also shoot a dice usable by any beast called a magic lot.
Does this make the beasts glorified dice rollers? Yes, if you also count chess pieces as glorified tokens. Technically, you could play the game with just the dice and the accompanying cards, and some of the time, you don't even need the accompanying cards.
A number of beasts released in certain sets have a special ability printed on their card called Tokushu no Ryoku, which is literally special ability in English. But a lot of them only have a flavorful description of their ultimate move, similar to the original Beastformer data cards and their miracle victory powers. But honestly, it's only these highly detailed illustrations of cyber furries that would bring eyes to these cards. Wandering eyes. The weapons don't even do anything in game this time around, they're just little rubber adornments for these hunky dice rollers. Oh good, the pigeon's strapped. I really like the marlin, the turtle, the gerbil, and this panda that seems racially charged somehow. Instead of having 3 elements, beasts come from one of 3 tribes, land, sea, and sky, all being made up from appropriate animals. In lore, they all control one of 3 different godlots, cubes that make up a being of great power. In-game, however, the tribes just indicate what kind of battle lot type they have, because of course they have types, these are the Beybladed beat-em-on people. The land tribe, reflecting their noble and fair nature, have the balance type, in which the values slowly increase from low to high. The sea tribe, reflecting their ebbing and flowing nature, have the impact type, where you either roll high or nothing at all. Finally, the Sky Tribe, reflecting their precise and consistent nature, have the flat type, in which most of the faces are the same or hover around the same number. There are also some special customizable battle lots in the game that can change the way their numbers are arranged, like Golder's variable dice, which functions kind of like a Rubik's Cube and can be swapped amongst the 3 types. There's also the special impact dice, a certain battle lot that has a rotating barrel core that can swap its numbers out to be even more top-heavy than before. Both of these were released in special deck sets, with the barrel impact dice being released in a super winning deck set, a product meant to load you up with strong guys of a specific type. Or at least that's what I imagined they're for, because there was only one. It's hard not to be super winning when your competition was aborted. You can mix tribes during deck building, so they really just indicate type. To make a legal deck, players select 3 beasts. On every beast card, you can find 2 numbers, the sum of all of the pips on their battle lot, and the amount of magic lots they add to your pool. These numbers are usually in inverse, so the guys who are weaker in battle usually give you more options for the magic lots you can use. After selecting your beasts, you choose your magic lots, which have a variety of abilities, like a simple boost to your battle lot results, swapping out your battle lot with your opponents, reflecting your opponent's instant win attack back at them, negating a magic lot, or doping. Don't act high and mighty, animals can do it too. The more powerful the effect, the less likely it is to trigger. Once your decks are set, you can play. The goal of the game is to defeat all 3 of your opponent's little guys. If you do, you win! So kill them. To kill them, you tap the card of the beast you want to attack with to the left, or if you want to activate its special ability, to the right. You can only activate each special ability once per game. You then choose your opponent's beast to defend against the attack, which then they tap the card of. Since this is a Takara Tomy product, they have no qualms about using tap and on-tap, since those are also terms in the WotC-backed Duel Masters TCG they own. Thank God Magic players can have a smooth transition to this game. Combat itself is really simple. Like, really simple. Like, shoot your beast matching battle lot out of their chest at the same time as your opponent to see who rolled higher simple. Doesn't get more complicated than that unless if you activated your beast's special ability, on the rare chance it has one. Otherwise, the only other note is that the symbol, called the emblem, counts higher than any number. So if you both rolled an emblem or the same number, roll again until you don't do that. The player who rolled lower gets the first chance to roll one of their magic lots from their unused magic lot area. If it lands on its magic emblem, the effect, listed on the playmats in the rulebook, triggers. If it doesn't, you're free to maul, seethe, cope, or even drive into an electrical pole. The possibilities are endless. Then the other player gets the chance to activate a magic lot, if they so choose. The final results are then compared, and the losing beast is put into their user's drop zone, effectively dead and out of the game. Used up magic lots go into their owner's drop zones too, also never to be seen again. On-tap any tapped cards, and the role of the attacking player swaps off, and that's it. You just kill each other until one side has no survivors.
The game certainly lacks a lot of meat, being gambling with a little bit of decision-making thrown in. It's better than, say, Bakugan Gen 3's gameplay because there's meaningful choice thrown in, but not that much. You can plan ahead and choose the right lots to counter your opponents, but in the end, it's down to the roll of the dice. Very visibly.
That means rolling the dice has to be really fun. Really fun. And I don't think furry dice beat-em-on going at it raw is really doing it for me. Naturally, the solution to making shooting dice more interesting is to shoot it at some kind of fair surface that maximizes quality randomization and, far more importantly, clickety-clackiness. They offered a budget arena made out of plastic to aim both beasts inside and go shoot, or beast fight as you will. It had slots to save your battle lot and magic lot results after a roll as well. The official dice battlefield only cost around 1,500 yen, which is approximately, to put a number on it, incredibly affordable. But still maybe a bit too much for a dice box. For more than double that price at 3,800 yen, they had the Mac Daddy of all furry dice rolling equipment, the Dice Battle Coliseum. A towering, battery-powered set piece with a motorized platform that would randomly jostle the dice 1 to 3 times to keep you on your toes and keep you from counting your chickens before they could be used in some kind of beast-related metaphor that I don't really want to put the effort into making. When the dice were done rolling, it would dramatically pause, keeping you waiting to see if it would make the confirmation noise or take you on Mr. Bones' wild ride once again. It also came with this golem with a battle lot you could customize with stickers as a practice dummy. As dumb as it is, this does make the battles a lot more fun, but it is incredibly gimmicky and will play music for the entire time it's on, so there's that. If the simple dice battle game wasn't enough for kids, they could also buy these playsets that could transform from cubes into vehicles and bases, or these card scanners that would unlock codes for the website and let you record your beast collection and battle history in its simulated dice battles. That's neat. Sure, wouldn't be the last time that Takara Tomy adds a weird virtual pet to an otherwise kind of lame battling hobby. While the line lasted for more than a year, it clearly ended before it was meant to, if the only one installment of the Super Winning Deck series was anything to judge by. It's a shame, since the custom dice were the first bit of real potential the game actually showed. But just like its contemporaries, Metal Fight Beyblade Zero G and Crossfight Beat-em-on S, the series was not long for this world. Unlike those series, though, it hasn't gotten a successor since. If you find them on any site you buy Japanese wares on, it's worth picking up a few if they at all interest you since they're so cheap and highly detailed. These are beautiful figures that take up almost no space. They're fun, even if the dice battle aspect is just kinda there. They're more appealing than the other 2012 visitors from Planet Beast, at least to my sensibilities. Other than a few Transformers redecos and cameos, the Beast franchise has been in hibernation since. If you want more content from Planet Beast, looks like you're going to have to settle finding fan subs for the Beast Saga anime. Wait. What do you mean this was dubbed? And is available on Con TV? In the year of our Lord? Sure, man. Do whatever.
I think anthropomorphized animals with cybernetic armor, elemental powers, and a weird game element thrown in still has a potential for success. If Takara, Hasbro, or another third party decides to revive this franchise ever again, I hope they get weird with it. Make another game. Add a barrel spinner to the chest. Make an arbitrarily good TCG. I don't care. Just pick up the pieces of this franchise and run with it. Freaky style. It's a line that never ran long enough to gain a solid identity, so there's no sacred cows to heed to, even if they do have the power to turn you into butter. It's a strange, cool toy that I want them to get even stranger and cooler with if they ever bring it back. In a world where we tell the same stories over and over again, I hope they choose to revive one where no one even really remembers the words, so they can tell whatever tale they want. I'll leave you with this. In the vast sea of oiled-up, mostly naked men in the 80s, these furries were brave enough to ask you to rub their chests, look into their tits, play with their laser cock. That's the kind of confidence we gotta reward, the kind of chutzpah that inspires generations to come. It is our right, no, our duty to let these furry men live on to today's generation. Ask not how soft-core this generation is on the idea of battle beasts, but ask how hardcore you can be for it. God bless Planet Beast.